What's happening?
What up? What up?
It's the Wrap Up Podcast. We back for episode 17.
17.
You got a dope 17?
Brent Berry.
Who?
Brent Berry.
Phillip Rivers? Phillip Rivers better than Brent Berry.
He's 17?
I think so.
Hey, your mic sounds
Pretty
nice
sure
when you got
I know, right? Hey, he got me together, y'all. He got me together. We sound real good this episode. Hey, before we go any further, I gotta apologize to you. Did you see his face? This is rare. Last week when we was doing the top 10s, and you asked me. You said. Is Kamikaze really better than Booker Ryan? And I said yeah. So I was listening to the, doing little customary playback. I'm listening to it, and I was like, man, let me go back and listen to this album, both albums, one after another.
Yeah.
Booker Ryan is a better album.
Thank you, man.
It's still in my 10. It's still in my 10. I stand by that.
But you just changed the rank.
I will change the rank.
Okay, good.
I'll swap them two.
Good.
Sure. Booker Ryan is a better album.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. I know what that.
So you ain't gonna get a lot of apologies out of me, but you got that one.
Hey, take a big man.
It does.
To apologize. Take a bigger man and accept it.
No doubt. So I do want to focus, change focus rather. Still staying in music somewhat, but it's dominating the headlines. I don't really like to talk about the messy gossip, but everybody's talking about it. We gotta put our 2 cents in, man. Mm-hmm. The Pied Piper of R&B.
Yeah, man.
R.Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
With the, what was it, a 5-part docuseries? 4-part?
3.
3?
Yeah. Wait, 3 nights, 2 parts, 6 parts, I believe.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was a lot of it.
Yeah,
Whatever it was.
Yeah. So the docuseries Surviving R.Kelly. I don't know if you could come out with a more defamating. I don't know.
Yeah.
Defamating title than Surviving R.Kelly.
Yeah.
That's probably the worst thing you can say.
I done survived a lot of stuff.
Pork. Yeah. This is bad. This is really bad. It's a lot to talk about. It's a lot of moving parts to this.
Yeah.
I guess we can really jump in wherever. One thing's for sure, I'm pretty sure we share we share the same notion on this. Neither one of us are surprised, right?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Right?
Not at all.
I'm not surprised. I'm pretty sure a majority of the people are not surprised of the accusations. Now, how deep, how detailed, how descriptive these young ladies and people are going, that might surprise you, but the actual accusations aren't really surprising at all.
No, especially being from Chicago, this isn't.
Right, we
don't know 30 years.
Yeah. So that part is not new news to us anyway. As opposed to on the flip side, for let's say Bill Cosby, that was new to me. I was like, no, not Bill Cosby. He ain't out here dragging nobody. R. Kelly out here liking little girls. Okay, we all seen the video.
Yeah,
we seen the tape. She was young.
Mm-hmm.
So the accusations aren't surprising. Maybe some of the details. I guess we can start more so with some of the newer accusations, which is this whole sex slave or sex cult that he supposedly has. How? I see your face, bruh.
And you know,
speak on it.
Finish your thought.
No. That was my lob to you. That's the toss up right there. How do you feel about the sex slave or the sex cult that they have? Supposedly, these women now who are in this sex slave cult, whatever, these are women of age. These are grown women.
Yeah.
How do you feel about them supposedly being brainwashed? Everything is supposed. I don't have any hardcore, tangible evidence to say that this man is a part of this cult that they say.
It's all alleged. I got you. Me, you know me. I'm a reader of the full book, beginning to the end, starting with the first number to whatever that last number is, that infinite number.
Yeah.
The middle is what no one knows but those individuals. That's the murky part that everybody is giving speculation on.
Agreed.
in terms of the sex cult, manipulation is a real thing. So I'm not gonna, not say that it's not legit.
Okay, I dig that.
But on the flip side of that, if you want to go, you can go. And let me. A lot of people will say, "Well, no, not if he's manipulating them." I get that, but putting on my Stephen hat once again, conspiracy Stephen.
Yeah.
Being in the house with a woman that's not your wife, I'm pretty sure y'all argue, and she say she gonna leave, and Kel's like, "Well, you leave then."
Yeah.
I guarantee she probably come back.
And
not even on the terms of manipulation. Okay, they're going on shopping trips.
Yeah.
They're going. Well, I don't know if he's still able to go out the country, but I'm pretty sure he's still able to probably go to Cabo. He's probably taking them, out the country. They're seeing things they've never seen before.
Indeed.
So even though they may want to leave, I believe the lifestyle that they're living now is causing them to stay. So it's not more of, Black Snake Moan, where he got him chained up. We haven't heard anything of him beating anyone. All of the women, none of them never said that he beat them and did all that stuff outside.
They all speak to mental abuse.
Yeah, it's all mentally. So is he abusing them mentally with his assets? Meaning they not used to anything or haven't really had anything in terms of the wealth that he's able to provide for them. So that's causing them to stay. Is that the manipulation? Where you gonna go back to the hood? Blah.
Yeah.
That can be manipulation. I agree.
Can be.
But if it's too much and it's enough, and you want to leave, we've seen worse. The girls with the dude from the McDonald's that was walking by, they were screaming out to leave.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
And as soon as they had an opportunity,
opportunity,
absolutely, where they felt like not that their life wasn't in danger, but they felt like this may be my only chance to escape alive.
Yep.
And they booked it.
Absolutely.
And they tried to do whatever they could to make sure they can get out alive.
So there's ways to leave. Yeah. When y'all go to Walmart to get the eggs and the milk, you don't have to return
at all
if you're by yourself. If he's with you, you can even run when he's with you.
Yeah.
But once again, the disclaimer between all of this is manipulation is a hell of a drug.
It is.
So I get the stronghold.
It is.
I get the stronghold. But when you get tired and you get sick of being tired, you will do a lot to break away.
I guess that's the thing is,
and that's one side of the coin.
Yeah, for sure. But I think we share the same sentiment on that side. In this aspect, I'm only talking about the supposed sex slaves or cult or what have you right now. I feel like, and I might be wrong. I don't know these ladies. I don't know what is and what isn't going on in there. But we can't say it enough. Being manipulated, being I'm not even gonna say controlled. I feel like that just might be that might be giving him too much power. I
don't even want to use the word condition, but it is a term. It is a form of conditioning.
It very much is. It's the thin line between persuasion and manipulation. I think he uses them both. I think that he may have mastered this art or mastered this craft, and that's the reason why he can say and do these things to these women. But on the other side of that, you are still grown, you're conscious enough to be able to make and formulate decisions and weigh out the consequences, the pros, the repercussions on your own.
And this is aside from the 15, 16-year-old alleged. These are the fully grown women.
We're talking about grown women now.
That went to R.Kelly grown.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
That's the only thing I'm focusing on right now. I don't want to blur those lines. I'm not talking about children at this point.
Yeah.
I'm talking about grown women. And I find it hard to condemn R.Kelly for having what is being categorized as sex slaves or what have you A slave is somebody you're keeping against their will. Mm-hmm. A slave is somebody who you consider they are literal property. Mm-hmm. You own that person. You can do with them what you will, whether it's good or whether it's bad. You won't receive any repercussions for dealing with a slave however you will.
And in most cases,
you own that person.
If we go to the definition of slavery, you have papers on this person. Like you have receipts.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's like I own you.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, I say. If you don't, then there's repercussions for that slave.
Absolutely.
But no matter what happens, you mine. You can't do nothing to me. Mm-hmm. You know, and if I do something to you, there won't be any repercussions for me.
Yeah.
It's hard for me for you to tell me that you were a sex slave of R.Kelly and you are in your right adult mind. Mm-hmm. If you aren't, then it's got to be something psychologically wrong with you. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, that this is just my opinion. What's going on with you? What's going on to you? What's happened? What's transpired that all of a sudden you are belittled or broken down to what you consider to be a slave, and that now all of a sudden you can't think, you can't fend, you can't create a thought of your own on your own without him being able to tell you what you can and can't do. I find that hard to believe. And that you can do this to a multitude of women. Supposedly it's like 20, 30 women who still are living in this house, or
alleged.
Yeah, alleged.
We don't know.
Allegedly living in this house or under his control or under this cult act. I'm not saying that that it's not possible. I'm just saying I find it hard to believe. And then if you are a part of this, then why are we just now hearing about it? You know, this ain't, like you said, we're not surprised by the whole underage thing because we've heard about it for a long time.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about he had this whole sex cult thing going on almost 10 years now, why are we just now hearing about it? We heard about the kids a long time ago. You know, we heard about his affinity for a younger female a long time ago. That doesn't surprise us. The whole sex cult slavery thing, why is that new news now? Why is that just now being brought to the forefront? I think a lot of the stories have too many holes in it. Too many holes for me to just all of a sudden jump on the bandwagon and say, okay, I believe you, lady. I believe this guy, and all of a sudden is just hell and damnation for R. Kelly. Now, some of this stuff, because of the repetition, because of how many times you've heard it, I can almost kind of believe it.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the children. And I know it's always two sides to every story, two sides to every coin. And I would love to hear R. Kelly's side of what this is.
Absolutely.
I highly doubt that we would.
Yeah, you
I highly doubt that we would. If he's a smart man, he won't say anything.
And even if he does have a side to the story, he's been vilified so much in the public eye. It's nothing he can say, even with facts, that is going to, one, erase it, and two, make people believe what he's saying.
That's true.
It's not.
If he's smart, he says nothing. You handle it all in court. Like you said, it's nothing that you're going to do. It's nothing that you can say that's going to make this magically go away. And then all of a sudden, you have your great legendary R&B name back. You can't.
But the thing with that, you mentioned handle it in court. What are you going to court for?
That's what I'm saying. To me,
speaking once again, America, we speaking solely on the full-grown adults in the quote-unquote alleged sex cult.
Yeah.
Not any of the other transgressions at this point.
And we're speaking on tangible evidence that we have right now.
Yeah.
The only thing that we have is a story. We have stories and experiences from people, but yet there's been no tangible evidence that says, yeah, he running his own brothel, sex house, slave, trade. I don't know what you want to call it. You don't have anything but these stories. And I'm not denouncing these women's stories and their experiences and saying that they lying. That's not my point. I'm not here. I'm not here to be judge and jury. That's not my move. But on the flip side of that, I need something more than you just telling me, oh, I was a weak, broken woman, and he manipulated me into being a sex slave. How? Were you always broken? Did you come to him as a broken woman, and have all of these women been broken? Is he targeting broken women?
Let's keep it funky. I think a lot of these women that was on the docuseries were sex cultists, if you will. They were from the sex cult, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I believe it was fine when it was 1 and 2. Then you start saying 3 and 4.
They got jealous.
You start saying 5 and 6 to the alleged number of 30.
Yeah.
Things don't move the way they used to. You seeing other things that used to be you and him.
Yeah.
Now it's you, him, her.
Yeah.
Or now you getting phased out because you owe goods and I got something new.
Right.
So once again, you have to look through all lenses of the prism. You can't just look through, I'm the victim, this is it. No, you signed up to be Robert Kelly's girlfriend.
Yeah.
For this certain amount of time. This is Stephen talking, people. For this certain amount of time. And when your time was up, you can stay here. We can still get down every now and then.
But you know what the deal
But
is.
number 4 and 5,
Yeah.
new to the block, and that's who I'm rolling with. You can take that, or you can ride.
Yeah. Essentially, they were a part of the roster.
Yeah, part of the roster.
They got phased out from starting to the 6th man to a bench spot.
Free agent.
To now you just hit. That makes more sense to me than, oh my God, he brainwashed me and I've been a sex slave and he manipulated me and he just the worst motherfucker in the world.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. That doesn't make as much sense than it does when it's like, y'all was rocking and then he's always just had a bunch of women around him, but it was y'all at one point. Y'all was rocking. Y'all was heavy. And then eventually he just saw something else and you just kind of got phased out and now you in your feelings about it. I might be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. I might be wrong about that. But that makes more sense than to say that, oh, I fell into this tangled web of lies and all of a sudden I became R.Kelly's sex slave for the last 6 or 7 years. That's a lot more far-fetched to me. That one is a little bit harder for me to grasp. It's a little bit harder for me to say that this fully grown, functioning, seemingly intelligent woman comes on here and says that she is, been muddled down to nothing but a sex slave.
Yeah.
How? How does this happen? That's the part that I don't get. Either you not telling the whole story, or there's got to be some point in time where you thought that this was okay because you weren't taken against your will. He didn't kidnap you.
Yeah.
So at one point in time, this was okay, and then all of a sudden, somewhere along the line, you were broken. He broke you mentally or something of that nature, and then all of a sudden, you became a slave. That's the part I just really can't wrap my head around. And those parts don't connect.
And I hate the narrative that they're saying that he must be broke now because of... No, he probably just went to you and was like, it's over.
Yeah.
What we're doing, I don't want to do it with you no more because I got a new set coming in.
Yeah.
And now you just what Orange Juice Jones told the old girl. You gotta go.
Yeah,
squirrel without a nut.
That's all it is.
It can be that simple, but because we're trying to connect an unsolvable puzzle,
that's a good way to put it.
We're out here siding with the victims. No one is saying that these women are not victims. But are you victims of your own doing?
There you go.
Are you telling your girlfriends, I go with R. Kelly? Girl, you go with R. Kelly? I'm pretty sure people knew that she was there.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things to me where it's an actual thing. It's a cry wolf theory. Meaning you're not in that spot any longer. So now I'm going to cry wolf. This is what you've done to me. You have time to go back now and recollect and think. And now you're going to say, I think I was used for. everybody in that sex cult is using each other. R.Kelly getting his jollies off, and you're experiencing a life that you've never led or thought that you could lead.
Exactly. And that's what I get more out of it than all of a sudden he just brainwashing all of these women and he's got an army of sex slaves.
Yeah.
What makes more sense is that you thought that y'all were something more, or maybe he led you to believe that y'all was something more. You were manipulated. You probably were victimized, but after a while, you just wallowed in your victimization. You became obsessed with what this is and what you wanted it to be, and it's not that anymore. And now all of a sudden, it's like, oh, I got to get something out of this. That makes more sense to me than all of a sudden he broke you down mentally, because all of these women come across as somewhat intelligent. None of them was up there with any seemingly psychological issues. They able to hold a conversation. They able to conduct an interview.
But once again, the manipulation still doesn't stop, because that's what Lifetime, I feel, is doing.
Oh, absolutely.
When you take a woman that was in an alleged hard relationship or a hard point in her life, and you bring her back to where that hurt stems from. Like if you take someone that's been victimized and you take them back to the place of where the alleged crime or the alleged assault, whatever it may be, happened, you're manipulating that person to, one, relive those moments.
Yeah.
Two, to recount and recollect those moments if they're supposed to be moving on. How are you helping in the healing?
Exactly.
Is your bag enough?
There you go.
So
the only reason that makes sense is, because first of all, any type of victim, whether it don't matter what it is. If you've been victimized, or this is post-traumatic stress, right? It's not something that you want to constantly relive. But if you feel like you can reach somebody who's going through something similar, and then you're willing to share your story to save somebody or help somebody, that makes sense. But the sole purpose of surviving R. Kelly is just to tear this man down. I don't think. How are you going to save any other victims? How are you going to save anybody else from what's happened to you allegedly by coming out with this docuseries?
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to save any other alleged rape victims or anything. This whole entire series is just meant to tear this man down.
Because you never gave never gave a how-to. You never gave a what I would do differently. You never gave a signal or sign to look out for. You just pretty much told a story.
Yeah. That's it. You gave us a story of what happened, but you never...
Your account. That's what you gave us, your account.
And then beyond that, I didn't get anything as like, okay, and now that I'm out, here's how I got better. And here's what I want to do. There was no outreach. There was no, here's what I want to do to make sure nobody else gets victimized. Here's how I want to help portray my story to help somebody else. I didn't get none of that.
Yeah.
So this is purely to tear this man down. That's what I got out of it. I got this to be, is like, okay, all of us got hurt by R. Kelly. Let's hurt him back. This is revenge. This is a purely vengeful, spiteful display of let's get back at Robert Kelly. That's the only thing I got out of it.
From the adults.
From the adults.
From the adults.
Yes. And we got to keep putting that disclaimer in. This ain't got nothing to do with the kids. But, we can shift focus to that.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, one thing when it comes to an adult mind as opposed to a child is a sponge.
Absolutely.
They are constantly learning, they're growing, they're absorbing the things that are around them, and then they try to formulate their own path throughout life. So it's completely different when you're manipulating and convincing a child to do something or to... I manipulate my children every day. You know? It just depends on what type of manipulation it is. My manipulation is you have to do good in school. I want you to do well in school. You can't survive out here without a college degree? Technically, yes, you can.
Yeah.
You can. But I don't want my children to have to understand what it's like. I don't want them to have to understand those hardships, those obstacles, or having to go through that.
Yeah.
Even on a more lighter note, I got a bunch of gym shoes. I manipulate my daughter all the time to help me put my shoes up. It's just what I do. You can manipulate children. If he manipulated these children to do sex acts or anything, then that is totally different. And then having a sex slave or a sex cult or what have you with these grown women. When it comes to the children, there's no amount of rationale that can come to trying to save him or say, oh, I could understand where he's coming from doing anything with these children.
Yeah.
You
can't speak out of that. No.
Let's say he never touched any of these children. Let's say he never had sex with any of these girls, hypothetically. I still blame him because you constantly put yourself in the exact same position over and over with these young women, with these underage girls. I believe he had sex with these underage girls. I believe he did. There's no way you can keep putting yourself in that exact same position. It's just like you get on the corner, you selling drugs, you go to jail. You get out of jail, you come back out, and you selling more drugs. You go back to jail. Then you come back out, and you just on the corner hanging with your homies, and they selling drugs, and you can still go back to jail because you're hanging around with people doing the same thing you was that got you in jail.
That's right.
So you can't say, oh man, but I wasn't even doing nothing this time. You put yourself in that position. So I blame you for putting yourself in a piss poor position. So if he never touched any of these kids, how can anyone ever believe you if you keep putting yourself in the exact same position to get condemned, to get reprimanded, to get cast stones at for being with these girls? If you keep doing the same thing, you made this hell that you're in. So I have no remorse for him in the regard for these alleged things that he did with these children.
And I agree with everything you said wholeheartedly. But once again, we about to go to the conspiracy again. It's no conspiracy. It's no conspiracy on the children. That we know that's a no. So I'm not going to sit up here and try to make light or defend any of that. That's the bottom of the jail.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't even want you breaking brick. I just want you to sit in the dark.
Yeah,
and just mildew yourself up.
Exactly.
So we're not defending the children part. Once again, we're in the social media world, and on social media, it's to me it seems like it's pretty split in terms of how people feel, especially Chicago social media. But to me, one thing I can say is for R.Kelly to be considered dumb, he allegedly can't read or write. We don't know if that's true. He stated that, but we don't know how
he spoke on his illiteracy,
how sensationalized that was or not. So we don't know. You mentioned earlier that most manipulators or people that has this gravitas that can pull other people in, it's kind of like a it's like a savant mechanism where they can draw people in.
Yeah,
they can draw personalities, they can draw attitudes, and I believe R. Kelly got a lot of charisma.
Oh, for sure.
I really do.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I really don't want to go this route, but I'm gonna go there and see where it takes us. I don't want to blame the females, the children. I don't want to call them children, but the teenagers.
Yeah.
I don't want to blame them, but we can say till the pigs come home that did they say they were a certain age? Did they do this? Did they do that? But as a grown man, you know when you talking to a teenager.
You got to.
You know when you talking to a teenager. I made a joke with you earlier today saying that you can tell, because we all done seen the National Geographic channel when they got the little teenagers be on there and they got the little puffy chest and you need to go home. You know, you're a young girl and I
like, why are you here?
Yeah, so with that, I don't want to, because that's a bigger pot than that we're not qualified, you know, certificate and degree wise to go into. So I don't really want to go deeply in there. But people talk about he need to go to jail because of the kids. He need to go to jail because of the sex code. One thing about R. Kelly that I can say is he has not technically done anything wrong legally. Even when they tried to place the case with the younger girls on him, legally he was not found guilty in the court of law because zero law was broken. Yeah. Granted, if one of the young ladies was 16, in the state that he was in at the time of the actions, she was legal. Yeah. So back to the manipulation, they know the laws of what they're doing better than most.
I agree.
So
with that.
they know how they can skate and maneuver in between these particular. A killer know how to kill and not get caught.
Yeah. Especially if you got away once.
Sometimes that's all it takes. If you're professional with your joint, if you're a professional robber, you know how to rob and not get caught.
And I can go out on the limb and say that R. Kelly is a professional manipulator.
Oh, no doubt.
I truly believe that. It comes across in his music. It comes across in his bravado. It comes across in his interviews and things like that. In all honesty, that's probably one of the things that drew a lot of these women, these children, these adults to him. Because of the person who he is. The persona of R. Kelly is what draws you in. And then all of a sudden, then maybe you may see a different person beyond the curtain. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know R. Kelly beyond, you know, the things that I've seen on television. So my thing is, just switching focuses really quick. If you knew who he was in the beginning, then this is the person who you grew to like in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Speaking again for the adults, just in case y'all missed that shift in focus. Speaking again for the adults. These grown women knew what you were dealing with in the beginning. And if you didn't, once you saw the change, that was your ability to get out right then.
Especially anybody in his group that's 25 and up was of age when everything was going down.
You had to know.
To know.
You had to know
what R. Kelly was doing. So what he was about.
So in my opinion, man, it is. I'ma just say it. Any of these grown women who are condemning him and accusing him of these things, I don't know the depths and the and the extreme details of what y'all went through. But with the information that's being given right now, I don't think that you can condemn him very much for that. I think you have equal parts in what you went through, because you didn't remove yourself from that situation. What stopped you? You haven't presented any factual evidence or information that you were held against your will, or that you never had free will to just up and leave. Now, switching back focus to the children. Again, you can manipulate the mind of a child. It seems as though, and I might be wrong, I'm just going off of the details that I've been given. Mm-hmm. All of the children who have been involved thus far had some type of dreams of a musical career. Yep. Right? So, of course, if you see this megastar...
That's easy prey right there.
That is easy to manipulate right off the back. It's like, if you know... I was like, oh my God, this is R. Kelly. I want to sing too. I want to rap too. This is my ticket in. This is what's going to change my life. Boom. That's all you need right there. Yep. You don't need much more manipulation beyond the fact that this is the biggest megastar that I've probably ever set my eyes on. He's interested in my music, and he can take me somewhere. Physically, mentally, he can take me somewhere and say, hey, this person is good at music. They can rap, they can sing, they can produce, they can do whatever. We gonna put them on. All of a sudden you have a dream and it seems like it's tangible. You can smell it, you can reach out and touch it. 15, 16, 12 years old, that will make your eyes light up. Mm-hmm. So I can't blame or condemn any of these children. Where the hell are your parents? Mm-hmm. Some of these parents are saying that they're there for this, or that they were there throughout these points and times, and then all of a sudden, R.Kelly made us believe that it was safe, and R.Kelly painted this picture of that, my children were, going to be the next best star and whatever. At the end of the day, that is your child. You are supposed to go through hell and high water, go through any great lengths that it takes to protect your child. So me personally, if I come across
I don't even have no children, but I'm going to be a dadager. What's they call momager?
Exactly.
I'm going to be a dadager with R.Kelly.
And with everything, get your own lawyer. Mm-hmm. Get your own manager. Get your own overseer. Get people who you trust in your corner to say, hey, R.Kelly, thank you so much for lending all of these avenues and resources that you have for my daughter. But I also want to be able to be a part of this business making, a part of whatever we got to do to take them to the next level. No way in the hell am I ever doing anything with my underage child and just letting R.Kelly supervise this. I don't care how cool that we coming across and how much he can promise you in anything like that. Why am I flying my daughter out anywhere or letting R.Kelly fly my daughter out anywhere and I'm not going to?
And you're not going to.
I'm there every step of the way. I gotta be. So it's like, R.Kelly, thank you so much for this opportunity, but my daughter's name is Jaylee. If you flying Jaylee out, you gotta fly out me and Jaylee, because I gotta be there with every step of the way with this. Mm-hmm. If you gonna turn her into a megastar, then I gotta be along for this ride. And not even to grease my palms, but to make sure that I am going to be here every step of the way, because this is my daughter.
And that's even pre-allegedness, if you will. That's just anybody with children should want to do that with their children. You know what I'm saying?
I don't understand how you miss the step and all of a sudden you just become so naive and so gullible to let all of this unsupervised time and activity alone with your daughter.
I don't care if it's Jay-Z and he say, yo, your son is the dopest rapper and I'm going to put him on. Cool. Win the flight.
It don't matter.
I need 2 tickets.
Yeah, it don't matter what it is. The sex, meaning the gender, doesn't mean anything in this point. It could be my son, and it could be, like you said, Jay-Z. It could be my daughter, and it could be Beyonce or Rihanna, and say, I'm interested in your daughter. I love their talent. I could take them places. Let's make this happen. Cool, no problem. Let's make this happen. When is the flight?
We gonna make this happen.
We gonna make this happen. We going through this together. No way in hell am I gonna just leave my child up to the supervision of this star. First of all, as a parent, I need to be there anyway. Just because I need to know what's going on. I need to know what you're getting yourself into. I need to be around anything that's going on. Secondly, they're a stranger. This person is a stranger to me. I don't know R.Kelly. So why would I say, okay, R.Kelly, I'm leaving your daughter in my hand. I'm leaving my daughter in your hands. I need you to take care of her. So if she need anything, then she could call me. She could call you. You can take care of her. She's your responsibility as of right now. And if
you think about it, it doesn't really make sense. Like, okay,
at all.
R.Kelly, you're based in Illinois, Chicago. Mm-hmm. Why do you have to fly the girl from Florida to Chicago?
Right.
All the studios in Miami, Florida, whatever, and the means that you have, when you're ready to produce, this me speaking if I was a parent. Mm-hmm. When you're ready to produce with her, come on over to Chicago. Come on over to Florida, and we'll meet in the studio here. Or if you're that invested, you send me whatever beats you got, whatever songs. Me and my team will work on them here, and we'll send them out to you. If it's not to your, if that doesn't suffice in terms of what you hear, you either fly to me, or we gonna hop a jet or a charter, whatever you provide.
Yeah,
we gonna come to you.
And I need a schedule of everything.
It doesn't have to be a 365. You know, you don't have to raise my kid
at all. That's not.
You don't have to do that.
At no point in time should they have ever given him the opportunity or responsibility of supervising these children at all. When it comes to these children, I place the primary blame on these parents. I do. I don't care how anybody feel about it, because at some point, of course, the kid is gonna be down for it. I think R.Kelly could make me into a megastar. So why the hell would I say no? He finna take me to the next level. I'm finna be the next whoever. I'm finna be the next Aaliyah. That's what these little girls are thinking at this point in time. He did it for Aaliyah. Why can't he do it for me? He already believe in my talent. Hell yeah, I'm hopping on this flight. Let's go. Mama, I packed my lunchbox. I got my plane ticket. R.Kelly said he coming to get me. We going to Florida. Hell yeah, they gonna say yes.
And that's the part that's still crazy in the 21st century. If that's even, I don't even know if that's his means of getting down anymore. I think it's just strictly this sex cult thing now. I don't even know if he's still with the young teenagers or whatever. But now you would think that hustle would be hard for him to get.
It's gotta be.
That hustle dried up.
It's gotta be.
I believe that hustle was dried up, because there's no way even a girl that's 15 right now gonna be like, I'm going with R. Kelly unless she's just hot all up in the seat.
Yeah.
Because if you now at your age, 15, 16, I don't care what nobody say about manipulation, the 16-year-old now is actually 23. You know, in terms of what we have access to and the knowledge of what's going on in the world.
Absolutely.
If you go at that point, you already own something. Because we all know what Kel's getting down with.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta be and the age of. Go ahead.
But if you get sucked in, and the parent don't know, you out in the mall, he buy you an icy, and next thing you know, you find yourself sucked in. If the parent...
He buy you an icy. That's funny to me.
You caught that?
Yeah, I did.
But
that was funny.
If the parent comes to get you and you don't want to leave, if I come back again as a parent and try to get you and you don't want to leave, I come with the police, whatever, and you don't want to leave, at some point, this is a question to you now as a parent, and being 16, 17, whatever the consent is in whatever state, is it now the onus? Because I've heard many people on the radio stations, disc jockeys and all that, saying at that point, it's on that particular child. I tried to retrieve you and come get you, but you made this decision of this is where you want to be.
At that point, if I don't know, man. I guess this just goes back to your parenting style over those last 14, 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
I know.
I can't just leave my daughter if she says she don't want to go.
I'm not. First of all, my daughter not going to tell me that she's not going. Point blank, period. If I say, yo, let's go, we ain't got time for R. Kelly on this Wednesday, then she going, R. Kelly, thank you for the icy, but dad said I gotta go, so I'm finna bounce. That's how that conversation is going with my daughter. Bottom line, that it just is what it is. But and just to play devil's advocate here, if in the event that it was to be like, oh well, no, I don't want to go. Your child says, oh, I'm not going. That's your child. You are the custodial parent. The police, you just get the police involved and say, yo, I need my daughter to come home with me now. And then that's it. That's the end of that. Case closed. It's over with. That's just how, that's the depths of how that would go. But it's no way that you shouldn't have a mental grasp on your child. You should always know the pulse of your child. Now, I'm not saying that your kid is going to tell you everything.
Yeah.
Now, mind you,
they're not going to tell you everything.
Right. It's just not going to happen. There are going to be things that you keep from your parents. There are going to be secrets. There are going to be things that you don't feel comfortable telling them, that you rather just tell your friends, or you tell your boyfriend or your girlfriend. And it's like, oh, I'm not sharing this with mom and dad. Not right now. I don't think they're going to understand. They my parents. but you still should know where your child is. You should know their well-being. You should know the things that they like, the things that they're interested in. You should know their fears. You should know their dreams. You should know their aspirations. You should be heavily vested in everything that your child is doing, thinking, seeing, and breathing. Because if you're not, that's how someone can come in and manipulate your child, and all of a sudden they come up missing.
And I wonder too, and I'm glad you said that. I just thought about this. I wonder too, for Kelly, what type of teenager, because I don't want to say adolescent, what type of teenager he was gravitating to. You know, I don't think he was going to the young lady that was in a structured home. I'm pretty sure he was going to the young lady that was out and about. Because if you chilling with R. Kelly doing all these things that R. Kelly does allegedly, you ain't coming back home at 7 p.m.
No.
You ain't coming back home at 11 p.m.
It's probably going to be 7 a.m.
That's what I'm saying. So what was the structure of her lifestyle? Was she independently living alone? Was she staying with a grandparent that she had mobility to move back and forth as she pleased? What was the structure in the home? Because if you're grounded even with one parent,
that's a good point.
You're not coming in the house at 16 at midnight, maybe 11. We can do probably 11.
Maybe.
But 12, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, not at all. I'm spending the night over somebody's house. Nah.
And that's my question. I mean, again, this is something that I don't know. Was he as calculated?
I believe so.
As to say, I'm going to target broken women. I'm going to target broken children. So this goes for both sides, you know, the adolescents, or are we? And when we talking about this alleged sex cult, was he targeting grown women who had been broken, who he can sense the vibe that, you know what, she needs something? There's a lot of women out there who are, I see them hop from relationship to relationship because they need a man.
Well, it's probably a little bit differently equated to the women, because with the women,
definitely it's different.
You don't have to be broken. You can just have a want to feel secure in terms of he's buying me my Prada bags, he's buying me my Gucci, whatever it is. So that sense of materialism is what's keeping you there. Is what his hold is.
But that part, that's the part that I differ from, because then you aren't a sex slave. You're not. So I'm trying to paint the picture as to how these women are sex slaves. I think a lot of them are just gold diggers. Because here's the thing: is he could buy you Gooey, Lucci, Prada, Louboutin, whatever. And then when that dries up, if he moves you from the starting lineup to the roster, to the bench of the roster, then it's like, okay, this dried up, on to the next. I can just go get another one. That's how a lot of these women function. But what I'm saying is, if you are really a sex slave, he had to have been targeting a broken woman.
R. Kelly shouldn't have been able to get one date in the last 10 years. If you
are Kelly. You are Kelly. I can't say that. It's R. Kelly.
I don't care if you Michael Jordan. If all this stuff is in the limelight and all this stuff, this fanfare of bad decision making from R. Kelly is afoot, R. Kelly shouldn't be able to buy a date. One, because of
you can buy a date. Bottom line, right there. That's all it takes.
But when I'm saying buy a date, I mean in terms of no woman should look at R. Kelly and be like, "This is potentially something I want to be in," knowing the background.
I got you. Okay, I got you.
He can buy a date, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Monetarily, he can buy a date. But I mean, in terms of you wanting to spend time with R. Kelly in this day and age, with all the surplus of information we have, R. Kelly should not be able to go on Tinder and find a woman. He shouldn't be able to. Now somewhere down the line, he may be able to find that one that's for him. We don't know. But once again, knowing his background and his character, okay, if Beyonce, we know Beyonce fine, let's take that out the equation. If Beyonce, if Beyonce was having a sex cult and she's been known, let's put the roles in reverse and it was you. You're not about to roll with Beyonce. when you know she's doing all of this, unless you're looking to gain something from Beyonce. Whether that's the time to just say that you've been with Beyonce.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's what these women are doing.
Right.
But somebody in their right mind ain't rocking with that.
That's what I'm saying.
With no motive, I should say. With no motive. Not their right mind, with no motive.
There you go. So that's the point. That's where it's, to me, there's really no gray area to this. Mm-hmm. Either you're in this cult because there was a motive and there was incentive and you were getting something out of it, or he just targeted broken down women who needed to have a man, who felt some semblance of protection and need and want, and that you for these women to say that they went through the things that they did and R. Kelly manipulated them and molded them into some type of sex slave. It can only be one of two things. There is no gray area to me. You were looking for something, there was some motive and some monetary value, or you are really just a fragile, broken woman, and you were like that before he got you, and you were targeted. To me, that's the only two sides of this. That's the only two things that make sense.
The world would never know.
And the way that it is right now, man, it's a really sad story that yet again we have another prominent black figure that is having all of these skeletons come out, and now they're being painted in just such an ugly light. Let me wrap this up by saying that I still think he deserves everything that he's getting. Because at the very least, R. Kelly, whether you did this to these women or not, you consistently put yourself in the exact same position.
Do you stop listening to the music?
No, I don't. Here's the reason why. We've talked about this on several occasions. It is easy for me to separate R. Kelly the man and R. Kelly the artist.
That's right.
I can do that with anything.
With ease.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we talking about sports. It don't matter if we talking about politics. It doesn't matter if we're talking about music. I can separate the characteristics of this person, the pros and the cons of that, as opposed to what they do at their job.
Yeah.
That's what I can separate.
You don't know what the person
I don't know what these people are doing. Yeah, exactly. The person who works to my left and my right at work, I don't know what they go home and do. I don't know if they're good parents or terrible parents. I don't know if they're felons. I don't know if they crackheads. I don't know if they millionaires. I don't know if they molest little kids. I don't know if they are, feeding homeless people or doing after hours work at a shelter or a hospital. I don't know these people, but I can separate the two. So it's the exact same way with a star. I know that I can separate what he did from his music and what he is being depicted as in these docuseries and the things that's going on right now. I tell you one thing, I never let my daughter around R. Kelly.
No.
Bottom line. That's it.
Not at all.
And that's that. I place a heap of blame on these parents for allowing these children to be manipulated and putting, just as much as I blame R. Kelly for putting himself in poor positions, I blame these children for, I blame these parents for putting their children in poor positions. It's okay for you to be naive. I'm not telling you you're supposed to know everything, all of the ins and outs about the music business and travel and studios and what you should be doing and contracts and all of that. That's not your realm. I'm not telling you to do that. But if you are leaving it up to R. Kelly to be able to do this, you better have a backup plan. So you best believe if I was in that situation, I'm like, yo, I gotta get a lawyer on retainer and say, hey, this guy is saying that he could take my daughter to new heights or whatever. But I need to know what's going on. I need to know where this is going. I need to have everything structured and mapped out. No way in hell that I would have left my daughter to fend for herself.
And you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
You just can't. This is this is something that this story is far from over. It's definitely a lot more that's gonna come to light. I'm hoping that we can get more of a side from R. Kelly. I don't think we will.
It's not beneficial because whatever he says, it's not going to be.
It's not gonna come out good for him.
Yeah.
I tell you, the one thing that is coming out good for him is that his music streams is continuously going up. This is garnering more streams and downloads for this man than he's gotten in a long time.
And he thanks you for that.
Yeah. So,
we didn't talk about his wife, how she's going around. That's another. See, that's what
she's
makes
probably she's the least believable person who is up there.
That's what makes me.
She's the least believable person up there. For the way that she's depicted herself on these shows, and then on the flip side to see her almost in a totally different light in different things that are coming out with her story just seems so thrown together. It's too many holes in her story. She's the least believable person that I've heard from.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, this story is far from over. I'm pretty sure more is gonna come. Y'all let us know what y'all think. Let us know if you think who's to blame. Is it the parents? Is it R. Kelly? Do they share blame? Do you believe it? Do you believe the sex cult? Do you believe that he raped these girls? Let us know your thoughts. Let us know how you feel. Keep tuning in, man.
And we're gonna put the same shame on Drake if anything comes out from him. And
you got to.
And the person he was with. Now, Black America give Drake the pass because y'all like Take Care. 12 play way better than that.
You better preach. It's a wrap, y'all. That's episode 17, man. Y'all keep rocking with us. Let y'all know. Let us know how you feel, man. Keep tuning in. All right. Peace.
Holla Black.